Good afternoon, OCP 2016. My name is Bob Rauh, and I'm the Vice President of Infrastructure Products at Panasonic. Today, I'm here to talk about how Panasonic is shaping the next generation data center with our new FreezeRay data storage product. When Panasonic started to get involved in data centers, we went out and talked to a lot of data center operators. And based on that feedback, we found that the biggest challenge that they were going to be facing was how to accommodate the growing needs of their customers, the growing data needs, safely, reliably, and cost-effectively. Additionally, we also found out from these same operators the types of products that they needed to make their data centers successful. And that is products that would be able to use the data center space in the most optimized manner, products that were always available, reliable, products that would offer a certain level of data security, and probably most important to data center operators is a lowest total cost of operation, and from their product, the lowest total cost of ownership. As Panasonic created its vision of the types of products that it would want to bring to a data center, we took this all in mind in our creation. We looked for products that were going to be able to safely store their customers' data. They would allow the data center to achieve a low-cost environment. And we also wanted to give our customers both a sustainable and predictable roadmap of the future so that they can make changes over time and they would understand what those changes needed to be. Panasonic is very excited today. We have two products in our booth upstairs. One is our energy storage product. It's an energy storage module, lithium-ion based, and works as a battery backup unit. This product actually fits into the V2 power shelf in the V2 OCP rack. And last year we demoed this product, but we're very happy this year to be able to say that, one, it's in mass production, and two, it has been contributed to OCP. The second product that we have in our booth upstairs is our optical data storage product we call FreezeRay. FreezeRay is an optical disk-based cold storage system offering safe and long-term data storage. Today's presentation is going to mainly be talking about FreezeRay. I want to take you back a little bit into history of Panasonic in the optical world before we move forward. Panasonic made its first endeavor into optical media back in 1987 with the introduction of DVD and CD technology. And over the time since then, Panasonic has continued to be a leader in different technologies enhancing optical disc, like Blu-ray technologies, and in the recent years, the development of archival disc. But Panasonic has not just been a leader in key technologies and devices. We've also been a leader in the standardization and also in bringing products that can bring these technologies to the masses. As we look at a new standard like archival disc, this kind of leadership, especially in standardization of products, is extremely important as we move forward. In 2012, Panasonic made its first endeavor from moving from consumer into commercial type products or enterprise type storage with its first data optical archiver, the DA1. This was based on 100 gigabyte Blu-ray technology. And earlier this year at CES, we also presented our first hyperscale size storage unit we call FreezeRay. The first units of this were based on 100 gigabyte technology, and they encompassed Panasonic's optical disc, drive, associated other technologies, robotics, and software, all in one storage library. But FreezeRay is not just an evolution of Panasonic's 30-year history in optical disc. It's also a collaboration with cloud service providers who offered real-world experience in terms of design, deploying, managing, and servicing the actual unit. So these products are actually tested in a data center environment. And that collaboration between Panasonic and cloud storage providers is what makes FreezeRay what it is today. And we're extremely excited to actually introduce a new version, new iteration of the FreezeRay product at OCP today. And this is now based on the 300 gigabyte archival disk. With archival disk at its core, FreezeRay now expands its capacity from 540 terabytes to over 1.6 petabytes of data capacity. And in doing so, also improves the transfer speed up to 720 megabytes per second. But this is not just about performance increases. FreezeRay, the latest version, also incorporates our latest enhancements in data center serviceability and functionality. But FreezeRay alone is not the strength of the product. The actual strength of the product is in its scale and scalability. With FreezeRay, you not only increase capacity by adding more FreezeRays into your data center, you also can create a distributed storage system that can offer you higher speeds and also offer redundancy in both your data and your hardware. This is a very important part of the Panasonic FreezeRay product. So by incorporating FreezeRay into your data center, what kind of benefits would you be able to see? For one, the media has a 100-year life. So you're going to see a 20x increase in the media itself. This is over normal hard drive or tape products out there. Additionally, because of the scalability of the product and the space optimization in the product, we have seen 30% reductions in the overall facility costs. And again, another benefit is the low energy usage. By FreezeRay, compared to other storage devices on the market, has an 80% decrease in overall energy consumption. And this, over time, is a huge benefit. So what does this all bring in terms of a total TCO? Going back to what our data operators were looking for, our data center operators, a 50% reduction in overall total cost of operation and ownership of the product. I'd like to take a step back of the FreezeRay unit itself and talk a little bit about archival disk. When we were talking to our data center operators, one of the biggest worries they had was losing data, losing their customers' data, losing their own data. And this could be done due to hardware issues or human error, where data gets erased. That's why when we looked at archival disk, one of the things we wanted to do was to make sure that this was not going to be a worry. So we made it worm. So it's write once, read many. That means that the data center operator does not have to worry about erasures going on without them knowing. The other side of the disk itself is the, what would you say, the physicalness of optical disk. Other medias out there, when they read and write, actually those apparatuses touch the media itself. So over time, as you keep reading that media, you're going to see wear out of the actual product or the media itself. But the contactless nature of archival disk and Blu-ray is that you won't see the same wear out. So really, there is no component damage. This is one of the reasons why you can see a 100-year life of the product. Additionally, to that is the fact that it is very environmentally tolerant. When we did our testing to basically establish a 100-year life, this was not done at optimal temperatures for most media. It was actually done at 30 degrees C and 70 degrees humid, or 70% humidity. These types of environments would be very drastic for other types of media out there. And another benefit, probably one that you would add on to this, is that FreezeRay itself and optical disk can be part of your disaster recovery plan. The product itself is waterproof and electromagnetically electromagnetically resistant. This means that no matter what happens out in the climate, you are not going to have a loss of your data over time. And now getting back to the TCO and why we feel that FreezeRay as a product is going to give you the lowest overall TCO. First of all, we see a reduction in both CapEx and OpEx. And I don't think you see that with any other media or data storage system out there. I think they can give you one or the other, but in our case, the product can actually give you both. And why is that? On the CapEx side, because of the long life of the product, you can actually look at this as a one-time investment. Once you write to this media, it'll be there 100 years from now. There's no migration needed. There's no wondering when the meantime between failure is going to happen that you need to migrate the product. On the OpEx side, there's kind of two different paths here. One, when you look at the product itself, it can actually function in an environment that is much hotter and much more humid than most other media. So that takes a strain off of the data center itself. The other thing that we need to point out is the FreezeRay itself operates at a very low energy profile and actually in standby uses absolutely no power. So when we look at the roadmap, and this is something that we haven't really touched on, where's this product going? In terms of the density of the product over time, we've laid out a roadmap starting with 100 gigabyte Blu-ray in 2013 to 2020 of a 10x increase. So going on a single disk from 100 gigabytes to 1 terabyte. Additionally, you will see the same in inverse cost reduction over that same time period while we can keep the same reliability of the disk and actually improve the performance over time. I don't think there's any other media out there that's going to tell you that they can do that. So who's going to benefit from FreezeRay? Well, we've already started work in areas of IT, healthcare, banking and finance, media entertainment, research, and also police. And all of them are seeing the benefits right now of installing FreezeRay into their data centers. However, we really feel that it's limitless because any data center out there who's looking for a safe, reliable, and low-cost way to house your data over long periods of time will see a benefit to using FreezeRay. So that is why Panasonic feels that we are shaping the next generation of data centers. Thank you. Any questions concerning the product? Yes? Yes, it is. Archival disk is actually a technology development between Panasonic and Sony. So we both have come together to create this standard product. I think that those are still questions to be determined as of right now. As we're trying to market this product and we're trying to get it released into the market, we came up with their FreezeRay product. Sony's got their product to release the product. But over time, Panasonic would also like to engage in other events to try to standardize the product and really bring it to the masses. Yes, and the question is concerning how Panasonic and Facebook have collaborated. Panasonic and Facebook have collaborated. Getting back to the slide I showed in terms of collaboration efforts, Facebook is one of the companies who has worked with us on taking this product from a data storage device and actually has given us a lot of the real world case study feedback of how the product needs to interact in a data center environment, which is very different from other environments that you could have your product in. So there was a lot of feedback, testing that went on from the Facebook side to help us determine exactly how we wanted to tweak the product in order to really make it data center ready. Yes, Panasonic and Facebook are working together on the optical storage. That's correct. No, it's a similar version of freeze-ray, but obviously Facebook has their own tweaks to it in terms of how they utilize the product and in terms of some of the other associated technologies added on. But yes, it is a very similar product. Yes?
So you're talking about this at the OCP. Some of their plans to contribute this or parts of it to OCP?
Yes, there are. We're in discussions now. From a timeline standpoint, we are still probably a few months away from finishing all of the tweaks that we would like to do from a data center standpoint. So the actual mass production release of the product is nearing the end of summer. At that time, then we would feel ready to start talking to OCP about standardizing the product or contributing the product to OCP. Okay, no other questions? All right, thank you very much.